It was a quiet morning when I noticed a small movement on the pavement. Subtle, almost imperceptible. As I came closer, I found a tiny sparrow chick, drenched and trembling, its wings limp, unable to fly or even stand properly. Someone had mentioned earlier that a family had rescued a sparrow that had fallen into a roadside ditch. Perhaps this was the same bird, or perhaps it had wandered further after its rescue, still too weak to survive on its own. The bird was barely more than a handful of feathers. Its eyes blinked slowly, and its fragile chest rose and fell with labored breaths. I gently scooped it up, wrapping it in a soft cloth to warm its chilled body. I could feel how light it was, as if the world had already taken most of its strength. Back home, I prepared a mixture of soft mealworms soaked in warm water, something gentle enough for its small beak to handle. I placed a few pieces in front of it, but the bird barely reacted. It pecked around the food, missing it entirely, too weak or too young to eat by itself. Watching it struggle was heartbreaking. I knew it wouldn't survive long without nourishment, so I decided to help it eat. Bit by bit, I gently coaxed the wet mealworm pieces into its beak. It was a slow process, and the sparrow resisted at first, confused and frightened. But after a few tries, it began to swallow. Even so, it was clear he was exhausted. His head drooped, his wings sagged, and so I let him rest, placing him in a small, warm box lined with tissues. He closed his eyes and fell asleep almost instantly, a deep, motionless sleep that made me worry he might not wake again. But he did. A few hours later, he stirred. His eyes opened with more clarity this time, and he chirped softly, a faint but beautiful sound. I offered him more food, and to my amazement, he accepted a little without needing as much help. It wasn't perfect, but it was a start. Each passing hour brought more strength. His movements became more coordinated. He tried to hop. He chirped louder. There was something unexplainably powerful in watching a tiny life, once so near to the edge, begin to pull itself back. By evening, he was no longer the limp bundle I had picked up that morning. He was alert, curious, and clearly fighting to live. It's hard to describe what it feels like to help such a small, helpless creature, to be the difference between life and death in a world where many would walk past without a second glance. That tiny sparrow didn't have a name, didn't make a sound when I first found him, and might never remember me, but I'll never forget him.